Hello everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, today I get to share with you something brand new and something exciting. I am now officially part of the Gerda Steiner Design Team, and I'm so excited and so happy to be part of their fantastic design team. So, my very first project today, we're going to be using a brand new to the Gerda Steiner shop stamp set. And this is so cute. It is called I Will Rather Be With You. Has some fun sentiments that you can interact, and then also three little owls and then two branches. So we're just going to make a project. Now, new stamp sets, I typically do this off camera, but I'll just take a piece of tape, white like packaging tape, and I'll tape the backing on my stamp set, because otherwise I do end up losing it or end up using it for a shaker card. So tape is good. Okay, I grabbed my mini Misty and we're going to stamp two of the little owls on some Neenah 80-pound cardstock. And I'm also going to grab the little tree branch that has the little leaves on there. I'm going to ink up my images with my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And they are just so cute. I was so excited about coloring in these guys. Okay, now I'm going to use my Copic markers to color it in, and I left the caps out for you guys. I'm going to play a little bit of music, and when I'm all finished coloring, I will catch you back. Okay, coloring is all done, and they are just so sweet. Love those little guys. And now I'm going to take my scissors and fussy cut them out. Now, I'm pretty sure Gerda Steiner's shop has the coordinating dies, and I'll leave them link below for you guys in case you're interested. But next, I'm going to grab some masking paper. I'm just going to trim it down so it fits. This is a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch panel. Now, I wanted to create a fun background. So actually I wanted a huge question mark, and I know that another option besides drawing a question mark would be to print one off on your computer and use that to trace around your masking paper. But I probably could have got a more even looking question mark, but I think it turned out pretty good. I just draw a basic question mark and then widen it with the outside lines. Now I'm going to use the negative piece of my mask, so I don't mind chopping up the center piece, but I'm just going to trim along the inside with my scissors. And I didn't do the circle on the very bottom for my question mark. I'm going to use a circle die for that. And I think it turned out pretty good. Not too bad for being a hand-drawn one, which I was surprised. I had extra on the side just in case I messed up. Okay, here's where I take the circle die, and I'm just going to tape that down and run that through my die cut machine. That way I have a perfect circle. There's no way I could draw a perfect circle, so this helps out a lot. Okay, I'll remove the release paper off of my mask. I'm going to center that on my cardstock. And then we're going to do a little bit of shading. I wanted the question mark to be yellow, so I'm going to grab some Distress Oxide ink. I was afraid that my pencil mark would bleed into my background, so I'm just using an eraser to erase my pencil marks. Sometimes lead does that, so I didn't want to take a chance. Okay, grabbing some squeezed lemonade Distress Oxide ink, and just using my blending tool, I'm going to go over my entire question mark. And then just to give my question mark a little bit of depth, I found that if you take a darker color, this one here is fossilized amber, I'm going to go along the right side of my question mark and do a little bit of shading. So it has a little bit of a gradient color, but this really does add a lot of depth to your question mark. Looks almost 3D when you're finished. And then once you add the darker color, go in with your lighter blending tool and blend it all out, and it turns out beautifully. I'm just going to remove the mask carefully, and actually I kept the release paper because I want to place it back on my release paper. I thought this would be fun to have. I might use it again, who knows. But you can see how the two-tone kind of gives my question mark a little bit of depth. Okay, now I did get a little bit of ink on the top and bottom, but no worries because I'm going to be taking a rounded corner rectangle die, and I'm going to cut out my panel. I'm just going to secure it with some tape, and there we go. Now I also took a one size larger rounded rectangle die and cut out a little bit of a larger panel, and then that way I can mat my question mark on that gray cardstock. Just gray cardstock that I had in my stash. It's a little bit on the darker side. Okay, now we're going to stamp our sentiment. I chose the sentiment, the first part I'm going to stamp who is, and then the second part I'm going to stamp awesome. Lovely. I'm just using VersaFine ink for that. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my gray background. And then I grabbed a piece of vellum and a piece of white cardstock. I wanted to add a little something extra, so I'm taking two of my cloud dies that I have in my stash. I'm going to cut out two white clouds with white cardstock and then two vellum clouds. I thought that'd be fun to have those kind of floating underneath my little owls. So I'm just kind of arranging my little scene how I want it to go. And for the vellum clouds, I'm just going to layer offset them a little bit on my white clouds and then glue them down. I'm just going to pop up both my owls with some foam squares, add a little bit of glue to the bottom, and then I can stick those on my little cloud branch with the branches. And I think that looks so cute. I thought it would be fun to do the little question mark in the background. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, add some tape, and we'll tape this to an A2 size card base. It's 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. Okay, now I'm going to take some Nuvo glitter drops. These are White Blizzard, and they're real pretty iridescent glitter. And I thought I'd add a little bit of glitter accent to my little vellum clouds. And then I'll add a few dots too around my background. And then I'm going to grab some Nuvo jewel drops, crystal drops. These are ebony black, and I'm going to dot my little owl's eyes with those. It's just going to make them pop. And then once we have that done, I realized that with the glitter drops and then the ebony black Nuvo crystal drops that I need to finish my sentiment. So I'm going to actually stamp it. I'm going to hold the card up with my left hand and stamp my sentiment with the right hand. No worries. I'm going to stamp the sentiment that says you are. So my sentiment will read, who is awesome? You are. And you are. And I also stamped the tree branch here. I just used the same colors of Copic markers that I used on the very front one that I stamped and colored in. But that's my project for today, guys. I hope you'd enjoyed it, and I thought the little question mark would be something a little bit different, but I love the way it turned out. Thanks so much for joining me. I wish you a fantastic day, and links will be in the description area in case you're interested again, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.